Folders! Oh, wait. Folder! Hey guys, Patton here. Alright, so another requested video I've been getting is how do I make folders to use for the SNES Classic. So as you noticed in that little intro, it's exactly the same way you do it for the Nintendo. Especially when you have like over 50 or 60 games, you'll find that when you have that many on the home screen, you'll get that C8 error every time you try and shut off your SNES Classic, and that's because you have too many games on your home screen. So here's how you do it. You go to Settings, Pages and Folder Structure, Custom, Show Folders Manager every time. You're going to click on that. You're going to hit the Synchronize button. New games are moved to the unsorted folder. You'll get that the first time you do it, and if you add any more games, they'll appear in that unsorted folder. So this is our folders manager. Here's our unsorted folder that they were talking about. We have Illusion of Gaia there. That makes sense because we added it later. So we're going to drag and drop that over to this screen. Now nothing's in that unsorted folder. Let's get rid of it. So as you can see here, these are the games that appear on our home menu when we first start the SNES Classic. That's all our games right here. And they show up on this little box here because we have the home menu highlighted. So the home menu has its own folder. Everything appears over here. So let's start making some new folders. Create new folder. Let's see, we got, I think, at least one NES game. So again, you'll see here, now we've highlighted our NES folder. Nothing's in the box. Go back to home. What do we have? We have Battletoads. Drag Battletoads over to the NES folder. You'll see it disappeared here and it disappeared here. Click on our NES folder and there it is. What else do we have? We've got SNES. We've got a bunch of those. So again, empty folder, home, start dragging and dropping a few. How about that many? We'll drag all those to the SNES folder. So let's open it up. There's our games. What else do we have? We have some Game Boy Advanced. Let's take care of those. We have the Monsters game, that's right, GBA. And there it is. N64. Can't forget N64. Now, where is Mario? There it is. N64. I think we had one more. Yep, we have that Genesis. Got to get that Genesis game. Now let's see, Game Boy. I believe we have a Game Boy game. Make a quick Game Boy folder. Oh, we almost messed up. Almost messed up. Delete this folder. Because we almost put that in another folder. Let's minimize this SNES folder. Create new folder. There we go. And it's real simple. If you end up putting a folder in another folder, just delete it. Game Boy. See what we did here? This was our Game Boy Advance game. Let's go back to Game Boy Advance. Dragon Warrior Monsters Game Boy. There we go. So I think that looks to be yes. Alright, let's put some more in the Super Nintendo. I think we have some more we can fit in there. Alright. Okay, so we have our folder structure set up. We have Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, Genesis, 64, Nintendo, and some Super Nintendo in here. And there's more. I mean, you can make folders for your arcade, TurboGrafx 16 if you have that. So as it stands right now, this is what's going to show up on our home screen. These folders, as you can tell, they're very plain. You wouldn't be able to tell the difference between them except for the title. So you can change the art on each of the folders except for the home menu, obviously, because you don't see that folder ever. So Game Boy. To change the menu icon, you just click this folder here, and you have these preset folder icons. So we have Game Boy. Let's find, we have a bunch of things to choose for Game Boy. I like the original Game Boy, so we're going to click that. Game Boy Advance. What do we got? Game Boy Advance. Wonderful. Genesis. Click the icon. We have the Mega Drive. Different versions. We'll go with the regular one. N64. Let's see. N64. Looks just like it. And of course Nintendo. Gotta have Nintendo. Awesome. And Super Nintendo. You've got US and the European or Japanese version if you have that one. People seem to like this design better than this one, but I grew up with this one, so I don't think it's ugly, but that's me. Man, do we have a lot of Super Nintendo games in this folder. Look at that, there's so many. I think we need to put some subfolders in here. So we're going to do that. We're going to create a folder in the SNES folder right here. I'm going to call that A. What do we got? We got B, and this is actually the quicker way of doing it. I made the mistake of doing this a terrible way before, first time with my NES Classic. But this way is a super fast way. Create the folders over here first, then you get into subfolders like that. What else do we got? D, E, F. Let's make E and F. E, F, I, K, M, and S. Then again, it's just going to be some dragging and dropping. Okay, so now we have all our folders the way we want them. These are the games that's going to appear on the main screen. We have art for all our folders. Oh, but we don't have art for these folders. We need art for these folders. Let's click in there. Folder A. Okay, when you're all done, just hit OK. Now it's going to build a folder structure and send everything to the SNES Classic. It should only take a minute because unless you're adding more games, it's just changing the folder structure and adding folders and all that fun stuff. We're all done here. Let's go back to the SNES Classic and see how everything looks. We are back at the SNES Classic. Things don't look any different here yet. Well, these are the games that we left on our home screen. Okay, if you keep going, there's our game folders, our different game folders. Awesome. So it looks like those all look pretty good. Let's go inside and make sure that everything went where it was supposed to. Yep, we have our one Game Boy game. Now, if you don't have like 11 or 12 games in each folder or on the home screen, you're going to get this weird looking, it doesn't fill the whole screen, so it kind of looks funny. Oh, and every folder you go into is going to have a back folder so you can get back to the home screen. You don't have to do anything extra for that. Check our Game Boy Advance real quick. Yep, there's our Game Boy Advance. What else did we have? Let's go to our SNES. That's the one where we made those subfolders. As you can see, here's all our subfolders. Yeah, see how it kind of jerks over once you get to that last one? Let's go in our A folder. Yep, there you go. Yeah, that kind of jerky motion. So just have like 10 or 11, maybe 12 games in each one. So that's it. Here's our main menu. One more time I'll show you. You go into the regular folder. Then you can make your subfolders. Just like that. No problem. And like I said, it's got a back folder, take you back one level. So let's go back to my desktop real quick. I want to show you something so you can make your own custom images to go along with all your folders. Okay, here we are back at the desktop. So all you need to know to make your own folder images, you go to your Hakchi 2 folder, folder images, and here they all are. So you may be asking, what size do I have to make them? There's a little README. Here's what it says. Copy your folder icon set here in PNG format, 204 by 204 pixels. So there you go. That is everything that you need to know about making folders and folder structures with the SNES Classic. And that's about it. So have fun, get those games in those folders, and I'll see you on the next video.